Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Tennis Manager 23. This is episode 23. We're going to continue on here. It's the end of March. We're heading into April, so we're rolling into kind of that mid-season phase now, and with a lot of our goals already accomplished, but still some key things to focus on. I'm going to take our time to focus on those key things and go a little more rapidly through other areas. We might have some finals from some smaller tournaments that we compete in. I'll probably just quick sim those to speed the process along so that we can put our time and effort into the more serious components of this current season as we try to continue to grow with Clarice and of course bring Urhobo along as well. Well, that was nearly a way to speed things up. First round of the tournament, we nearly get knocked out, but we do survive to get to the second round. Again, a tight second round matchup, this time going all the way to 3 sets and tiebreakers to come away the winner. Not looking great to start this tournament by any stretch. Third round, and again, 3 straight rounds of tight competition. Second straight round of 3 sets. Unlike the last one that went all the way down to the tiebreakers at the end, this time we run away with it in the third set, but not a great tournament from Thurman so far. Name of the tournament for us has been Keep It Close. Semifinals, we keep it close, but we do win a tiebreaker on the second set, which was also the set to seal it. Just +2 on winners. Much cleaner. Plus 15 on the unforced errors and -2 on the total forced errors. Tightest match of the entire tournament is the final. In terms of the seeding, the matchup there, we are 81st in the rankings. Our opponent is 180th. We should be a favorite for this, but as we are neutral on our form, you can see how we've struggled through those first 4 rounds. Can we seal the deal and win here in the 5th round? Normally we would be favorites for this, but the form throughout this match has been iffy. But we've played somebody as high as 201st. It's only about a 21 spot difference in the rankings, and therefore we should still just about edge this one, but I'd say like 51%, maybe 55. And we have won it, so 7-6-6-1, 4 aces, nice on that part, -5 on the winners, but keeping her clean, +6 on the unforced errors, +9 on the total forced errors. I feel like there's something serious going on here with Urhobo, who has now had 3 major injuries in just a few months. She's coming back, she's healthy, and a week or 2 later, she is injured once again. This time an ankle sprain. I mean, it's not that serious, but it's 3 to 4 weeks before she's going to return. And at the moment, she's caught in this endless cycle. Natural fitness for her is an 11. It's not great, but this is serious, just how much it's impacting her. 11's not great, but it's not like she has a 4. 3 injuries in 4 tournaments, 5 tournaments, seems as if there's something not that I don't know here, but it's the natural fitness that's supposed to be the injury probability. A couple of weeks later, we have another tournament for Clarice at the same level, so she's once again the 1 seed. Her ranking is improving slightly as well along the way here. 2 things before I jump into this tournament. 1, our rank is clearly high enough, so the French Open that is coming up, I have unregistered from the qualifiers and applied for the tournament proper. She has got to be high enough, clearly, plainly now, to get straight in and not have to run the risk of going through the qualifiers. So we are going to register her for the tournament proper. Second thing, totally out of my control. I am not accepting this. I'm not saying yes. I said yes once to a 1,000 level tournament going, payday. Let's just see what it feels like, what that pay structure is like, just get a feel for it. Once I said yes. We've already completed that tournament at the end of last episode. I have not said yes to any others. I have not registered for any others. I do not have automatic registration turned on. Next week is another 1,000 level tournament. We're in it. 2 weeks later, another 1,000 level tournament. We're in it. This game does that a lot. Now, are there required tournaments based on certain levels? Yes, certain things pop up. Are we that high in the rankings that we are now being forced to play in these 1,000 level tournaments? Because like I said, these next 2 aren't wild cards. They're not invites. With improved form to go along with the fitness and the morale being very high, Thurman is now looking at having cruised her way through this tournament into the final. And this time we're looking at somebody in a similar rank, I think relatively close to what we had in that last final. We've beaten this opponent twice, Krunic, and we've been beaten her 3 for 3 now. 6-4, 6-2 in the final. That is another tournament win, plus 34 on the winners, though the unforced errors is a minus 10, while the total forced errors, I'm trying to remember whether it's good or bad. I'm assuming we've been forced into 6 errors where she's only been forced into 4, so it's a minus 2 there. Round of 128, so there's 128 players here. This very well could come down to a ranking system, and we are forced to enter the tournament simply because we are ranked so high. I mean, there's going to be qualifiers, there's going to be wild cards. Maybe it's if you're in the top 100, you're in the tournament, and then they'll fill the other 28, however necessary. Whatever the case may be, I mean, there are buys in this one, so maybe it's more like top 80 sort of thing, because this wasn't happening until suddenly just now. We were just outside of the top 80. That might have been the tipping point where this has happened. Whatever the case may be, we are 15 spots lower than our first round opponent. It gives us a chance to maybe make that second round, which of course is going to come with a healthy dose of an extra 25 points and pretty good payout in comparison. Payout's going to be, something. Either way, we are getting paid to play here in Madrid this week. It's not good for your form when you're going out and getting beat handily in the first round of these sort of tournaments. But we won't go down in the first round. We do make it to the second round for the first time. We lose the first set, we come back strong, 6-1, 6-4 in sets 2 and 3. Minus 9 on the winners, but plus 11 on the unforced errors. And again, I don't remember which direction this is, but I think we're talking about plus 11. Like, she committed more forced errors. Second highest ranked player we'll have ever matched up with, though, in Samsonova, 17th and the 17th seed. I mean, not looking good on that part. So probably heading home in this second round. But again, it is progress to get through one round, to play a second round, to pick up those additional 25 points and that additional payout. I'm happy with that, I suppose. Though I would have rather have been training this week. Oh, 6-3, 6-4. It's a winner for Thurman. That's a surprise. She came in with good form, but I did not expect her to punch this far above her weight. Minus 5 on winners, but we kept it clean. Oh, we kept it clean. Plus 14 on the unforced errors, plus 5 on the forced errors. And yeah, final result was a 56% of total points won. We didn't even face a break point in this match. We only had to beat her a couple times to turn it in our favor. So really, service held pretty firm throughout. And then we just took a couple games away, one in each set. Round of 32, and there is hardly an unseeded player left in this tournament. There are some. I mean, just below us is a 72-15 matchup with Fervertova. But we have Leylah Fernandez, 6th in the world now, the highest ranked player we'll have ever gone up against. And we've pulled off one surprise, one major upset here. I highly doubt that there's going to be another, but with this round of 32 appearance, an additional 30 points, now 65 for this tournament, and 125 out of the prize pool. Tactical advice, tough match, but we are the one in better form. And yeah, you can see just how tough we're looking at here. I mean, huge disadvantage in comparison web matrix wise. We nearly squeeze out a win in the first set, but we go down pretty hard in the second set. And we are out, but again, third round exit is not going to hurt our form, hardly, if not at all. So we'll be okay going forward into our next tournament. However, I think our next tournament might be another one of these unexpected, unwanted 1,000-level tournaments. Even though this went decently well, it's not going to be the norm. It's not the expectation. This is not as good as we are or should be at this point. 40,000 payout, plus with the turn of the month that we just It's already mid-April, but 291K is enough to get that infrastructure upgrade on the go. Let me take care of that. Sports and study program, level 2 on its way, and still a decent amount of cash left also, so not too far off maybe from going ahead with getting that third athlete to come to the team and the staff to go with it. But I know that there's a couple areas where I am short on what we would be able to hire staff-wise, not just the ability or inability to sign a good one, whether to sign one, period. So I do need to fill out a few things, really, before we can actually hire them. I mean, one thing I could do is we still have no agent, so we could recruit an agent. That would certainly help us out. But it's this sports department that I'm talking about. I can hire a third trainer. I don't need a third trainer right now. But I can't hire another coach. I can't hire another physio. We can only handle the 2 coaches, 2 physios, which means we can only properly support 2 athletes right now. With time, okay, fine. We can make that 3. Not right now. Not until we have some more infrastructure upgrades in place. But I do think that our next staff position to fill will be an agent, because we can get some sponsorships for our 2 athletes that we have. I don't currently have any of those. That's extra cash. That could trade off. That could pay for itself. A level 5 experience agent based in the US, that's a big helper as we are US based, is interested in signing with us. So that's huge, but our patience is low. So we're going to have to be pretty generous with this one. Let's give her what she wants here. We're going to probably have to overpay. Signing bonus, no problem. We can absolutely overpay on that one by a fair bit to make her happy. Let's push that all the way up to 20K. That extra is going to boost that patience, because right now in the red, there's a very good chance that even though we agree she won't sign, we've got to get her into this happier zone to have good odds. From here, the odds are very poor. Monthly wage is also going to take a little bit of a boost, but not as big. I want to make it more upfront money, one-time deal, versus repetitive month after month after month, paying her a lot more. But little pay hike, big bonus hike, hopefully will make her happy. Oh, and it does. Oh, she'll sign, I think. It's still showing a red color here, so I don't know. Sheridan has accepted the offer. Like I said, that big bonus addition, I think, was the major tipping point on this one. That little salary hike certainly helping as well. But we pushed her up high enough that she has signed the contract. So we're going to have a quality agent added to our staff who, in a short period of time, should be able to pay for herself, her 7K a month, in a manner of bringing extra income through advertising. Apparently that 1,000 level tournament had so many points on offer that it did see a pretty serious shift. We did well. We get through 3 rounds. We pick up all those extra points, and yet Clarice, her ranking falls to 83rd. It's 10 spots lower than it was. Isabella Kruger, one of my regular go-tos the last couple of years in Tennis Manager to bring into the squad and develop and compete on a high level, is our first round opponent. She is ranked like exactly or within 1 spot of where I just was. This higher level tournament, 125, 160 now. We're looking at... Anyway, thank you. In the comment section, this just off the top of my head looking at it here, I didn't write down who it was, so I'm sorry that I cannot name you firsthand, but thank you. I appreciate the description for why this is what we're getting, the 125, 160. So what we are experiencing here is we have a difference. In the men's game, the tournament names and the markings are identical. They turn out a 125 to 125, meaning a 125 is worth a net of 125 points for the winner. Here, it's an international 160, but the equivalent to the men's level is a 125. But on the women's side, it's actually worth 160. So they're giving us both. Tournament titles are 125, but we're receiving potentially 160 points for winning, and that is why the naming conventions on the women's side of the game is a flippin' mess. This will not be easy. We could lose at any stage. However, if we could beat Kruger, we could beat either of these two. If If we could beat either of these two, we could certainly beat these two. So we could be playing our way towards the semifinals here. The 1 seed, 45th ranked player, is already out of this tournament in the first round. There is potential to make a deep run. And looking at what we would have for a semifinal matchup, we're already looking at the highest ranked player is just 52nd. We beat a top 20 player just a little bit ago. So that's not the expectation now. We're not suddenly going, oh yeah, we can beat top 25s. No problem. No, that is a problem still. Okay, that was the exception, not the norm. But beating players outside of the top 150 consistently, you betcha. Beating players ranked 100 to 150, 101 to 150, should be able to do 90% of the time. But the 75, 79, maybe 60% of the time. But in that 51 to 75 range, I think we're still playing with fire a bit, meaning it's more of a toss-up. Maybe it's more of a we lose a little bit more often than we win. So I'd say, 50-50, 50-50, 60-40. In all likelihood, I do not surpass these 3 rounds, but there's a chance that we do. Maybe a 20% chance once you throw those odds together. Based on the odds that I made, I'm sure somebody I'm not bad at math, but somebody who's even better at math than me has already calculated in their head just what sort of actual odds I played for myself with those diminishing returns as you go forward. And there you go. 50-50 in the first round, and we don't even get past. Kruger has knocked us out. Isabella Kruger with the win. We are 4-6, 6-7. We get to that tiebreaker in the second set, but just cannot squeeze through on that one. -11 on winners. Kept it pretty clean, but it's still a -4 on the unforced errors and a -4 on the total forced errors. Competitive, close, not good enough. Here's that third 1,000 level tournament. And this one does match up properly. Women's Tour 1,000, Premier 1,000, worth 1,000 points. 78th ranked currently, though, and 52 ranked first round opponent. Maybe a 50% chance of getting through this one, but then Subalanka in the second round is a surefire loss. So not an easy draw this time around, but we've got a chance to get out of the first round, though I'm still not liking it, especially when our form has probably dropped a little bit after getting knocked out of that last tournament. Oh, but we squeeze our way through the first round. 6-2, 5-7, 6-2. So we are able to knock off somebody just outside of that top 50, plus 13 on winners, -6 on the unforced errors, but plus 13 on the total forced errors. So we got a lot of winners or forced her to make mistakes. You can see just how well-rounded Subalanka is from her web. She has no weakness. Her net play, her backhand would be considered her weakness, but those are stronger than anything we have. So, it's going to be a tough match. Not getting hammered makes me happy. 6-7, 4-6, but of course we lose. -17 on the winners, +7 on the unforced errors, and +4 on the total forced errors. We do keep it fairly clean. We just couldn't quite hit the number of winners necessary to really beat her, but it does show how much better Clarice is than she was, say, this time a year ago. One of those magic numbers that I was targeting for Clarice, milestone attribute wise, she hit it. So I'm at a big turning point in terms of the development of Clarice, and here is why. So looking at the physicals, it's 13 plus in everything except stamina. It's at a 9, and I think I'm going to throw in one more point just to get it to double digits. I like the idea of double digits for that, so I do think I will do some quick training on stamina, but when it's already at 67%, it's not going to take long for a 9 to hit a 10 when it's already that far through that level to begin with. But the mentals, everything's 13 plus. So the physicals 13 plus, the mentals are 13 plus, and the technicals. Oh wait, no, they're not. Volley, drop shot, lob, smash, hot shot, they're not at that level. But I don't need them to be at that level right now. I'm not targeting these skill shots to be at that level right now. I want the general play. I want the general quality of Clarice to be at a higher level before I worry about those. What I do worry about is making sure that she's also technically sound as well as physically and mentally. With spins now at a 13, that was my latest one to target. And while spins is a bit more of a skill thing, it's a general all-around skill thing, putting some quality spin on the ball. When we are playing a tactic that is left, right, left, right, left, right, if you could put some good spin on that, you are pushing that left, right further. You're adding a foot and a half to it for every play back and forth as you're putting some appropriate spin on it. You start with a serve to the outside with some spin on it and draw them out and then come right back to that right side. It's going to be hard for a lot of players to even reach that second ball. You don't need to beat them on the first one. You need to be accurate. You need to put a little spin on it. You need to just squeeze them out to the side and then just come right back with some power and force and maybe a little spin the other direction, pull it away from them, and poof. A lot of players just cannot make that play, that reaction. And that becomes a lot of easy wins for us as we go through. Better players, though, can handle that. And that's why you've got to have more as you progress. But now that I have that 13 plus across the board on the upper technical attributes, that's that point where we can look into what is next for us. Like I said, stamina, I want to get that to a 10, but this is where I will now double back and kind of go back to our start point and push those into a more elite level, meaning I'm going to go back to the physicals and I want to get them not necessarily to an 18 yet, but like a 15, 16 kind of range. I don't know. We were pushing for 13. The next stage is 18 to get to proper elite. I want to get to really good. So 15, 16 is kind of that halfway point in between. It'll depend on which attribute we're trying to push. Like speed, I want that to be kind of always her lead primary attribute. So I'll push that to a 16. 99.91% till it hits a 14. So that's going to come pretty quick and easy. But then I'll get a couple more points before I then focus on, well, the other physicals, the agility, the footwork, the balance. I'll probably get all of those to a 16. Reflexes to a 16. For the last couple of months, I've actively played around with some different levels just to kind of see where we're at right now with Clarice. The 1,000 level stuff was supposed to be a one-off, not a 3-off on that part, and it looks like that's now going to be kind of the norm based on her ranking. But after that, we've been kind of hovering around the, whether it's the 80, the 100, the 125, that's going to be the appropriate one for her. And here we are, and see, this one doesn't even add up. It's worth 150 points, but it's a 140/100. Anyway, it almost adds up. But we are a 2 seed this time. If we're coming in as a 2 seed to this level, it does feel like it's an appropriate level. We're not always going to be the 1 seed. We're not always going to win the tournament. But we're going to get pretty deep into most of these. The ranking is high enough. The points are high enough to kind of maintain our position, because you can see we've hovered around that 70th to 80th ranking position right now. Others are picking up more points than us because they're participating in larger tournaments and doing enough to move up or down, where we are kind of stable at the moment, and I'm okay with that stability. I really want to get more training in for Clarice to get her. She's now a very good athlete here. I want to get her to great, not yet elite, but that great status. So I'm glad that we're entering this new phase. We've had a couple quick victories, though, even though each of them took place in 2 sets. The opponents were pretty competitive for us, and again, that just goes to show we're kind of playing in the right area right now. One semifinal has seen a wild card ranked 166th qualify for the final. My semi is a bit tougher, but not crazy. It is the 3 seed, 102nd ranked player, where we are 80th. So it's definitely a much more competitive match in terms of where we're coming from. However, 102 is not bad, and I'm confident that we can beat anybody outside of the top 100 fairly consistently. But how consistently? Let's find out here in a second. Consistently that it took us 3 sets, but we do get the job done. 4 and 6, the magic numbers here as we go 6-4, 4-6, 6-4. -4 on winners. but +2 on unforced errors and +8 on the total forced errors. That being the difference here. Plus those breakpoints saved. A lot. Both of us facing 11 breakpoints. We come out just ahead statistically on that. Weaker opponent for the final. Not a guarantee to win, but the odds are very much in our favor. She seems to be in high form. She seems to push us to the brink. But yes, we do win this tournament. 3-6, 6-3, 7-5. So Thurman doing well. -9 on the winners. But huge advantage on the unforced errors. +17. -2 on the forced errors, though. It was clear what the difference was. It was you got a player who's aggressive, but just can't keep that ball in play. She's pushing the boundaries right to the limit, and seems to go beyond that limit far too often. Thurman's Palmares is starting to look pretty good with 4 base level tournament victories, 1 at that intermediate level, and then you can see how we've now started to push our way into the 80s and now seemingly the 100s, as we've won the 2 latest that we've competed in there as well. That's a good haul. I mean, we're already talking about double-digit victories with 11 career titles, but again, mostly lower level stuff. So we've still got a ways to go to really get up there, but this is a good competitive level for us right now where we can keep form high, compete well, keep our ranking stable, though it's not really helping us improve our ranking at the moment, but we're looking pretty good. Have not played on grass this year, which is just a weird one. Meanwhile, Urhobo, since joining us, has won a single smallest level tournament, but she can't just get through the tournaments. She keeps getting injury after injury and end up withdrawing from the tournaments that she participates in. So for her ranking is very much hurting at the moment. It has not improved. This has kind of been the after injury, and then you start to recover, but just not doing well. Really not doing well. We need to hope that she can find a bit of health here. Otherwise, I might have to look at finding somebody different, because for whatever reason, like I said, she's an 11 in her natural fitness level. For whatever reason, she is getting hurt an absolute ton right now. In the year 2026, so looking closely at this actual calendar year since signing her, she's only competed in 5 tournaments. She has won 1 of them. She has been withdrawn injured in 3 of them. So she's only made it through 2 tournaments this year without being injured. One of those tournaments, the one that she didn't win and didn't come out injured, was while she was recovering from injury, but still hurt. So she played hurt in a tournament, and that was ultimately her early demise. I don't know which one of these 2 that it was, the round of 16, round of 32, but I know it was one of these 25 levels. I think this was a withdrawal one, the quarterfinal, and then 2 of those were withdrawals. But I can't remember exactly how that one played out, but yes, I do remember that's how, more or less, how it all went down. 5 tournaments, 1 win, 1 played injured, and 3 injury withdrawals. So Urhobo really, really struggling at this point. And then, of course, she can't get form when she can't even get through a tournament healthy. Hopefully she can gain some momentum, get something going, because right now she is still 719th in the rankings with just 35 points this year. And with an objective of getting into the top 250, she has a long ways to go for achieving her hopes and dreams for this year. If we can get that momentum, I mean, it looks like cracking the top 100 for the US is not that far off. She could jump 200-300 spots with a couple runs through these tournaments and get some wins, and that'll get her going. But she's a long ways off from either of these 2 things happening, so it's not looking good for Urhobo at the moment. It is looking good for Clarice, though. That's going to do it for this episode, though. I'm Decathlon Gamer. Like, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you next time. Have a good one. Be safe out there. Bye for now.